Today we are going to see about how to apply a patch and what exactly are different types of patches that we have. So all those things. So first of all, we have a concept called a patch, and what or how exactly we are going to define a patch. A patch is nothing but a bug fix. So in the short form, this is what we are going to say. And now if somebody asks what is a bug, then we say exceptional code. So, so a patch is a bug fix, as I already told you. But if somebody asks you what is a bug, then we can say it is an exceptional code which behaves in unusual manner. So suppose you have written some set of code and you expected that to work in some flow, but rather than that it started working in a different flow, then we call that particular situation, or we call that particular code as a bug. And to fix that bug, we will be having a patch, and patch is also nothing but some set of code itself. So we can say it is also So it is also a code that will be written in order to fix that particular bug. Now when it comes to patches in Oracle, so they are actually divided into several types. So the first one being interim patch or one-off patch. So this is the first type of patch that we have, interim patch or one-off patch. So what exactly is my one-off patch or interim patch? You might be hearing about this term usually that if some trouble occurs in political situation, they will make one person as interim CM or interim PM and all. So what exactly is the meaning of interim CM or interim PM? Till somebody else taking care of the actual responsibilities, that person will be acting as a CM, or that person will be acting as PM. So in similar way, we have something called interim patch, and in order, if you want to fix a bug, suppose you want to upgrade your database or you want to do something else, and at this position you may not go and immediately change that, then you will be having an interim patch for you. For example, let's say you have a database version of 10.204, and in this version you got a very critical bug, and when you contacted Oracle support, they have specified that that particular bug, whatever you are facing in 10.204, it got fixed only in 11.201. That means if you want to eradicate that particular bug, you need to upgrade your database. But you cannot go and upgrade your database just like that, because there will be application dependency and there will be other factors that will be involved. So in this situation, what you would be doing is, and of course as I said, upgrading the database and all requires approvals also. So when you take this issue to your client may not approve this because of the dependency on the applications and other factors. So now whenever we understood that there is a fix in 11.201, so we can particularly ask Oracle people saying that at this moment of time we cannot upgrade our database, so we require something like a interim patch or something like a workaround. So then Oracle people will give us some interim patch, or some people are going to call it as one-off patch also. And then by applying that one-off patch or interim patch, the problem whatever you are facing in 10.204 database, it will be resolved temporarily. So again, what I am saying is, it's not a permanent solution; it is a workaround. So that means it is temporarily, stopping that particular bug to be repeated. But ultimately, the permanent solution would be upgrading the database only. But something is better than nothing. So at least applying a patch is better before it will take some time to upgrade the database. So this is one kind of patch that we have. And the second type of patch that we have is, what usually Oracle will do is, every 3 months, that is every one time in a quarter, it is going to club all the interim patches that are raised in the last 3 months, and it is going to release something called critical patch update. Shortly we are going to call it as CPU, but the name of this was changed from December 2012 onwards, and now we are going to call it as security patch update, and shortly you are going to call it as SPU. So what exactly is critical patch update CPU or security patch update SPU is? A group of interim patches developed in last 3 months. So this is what exactly is meant by critical patch update. So Oracle is having commonly a mechanism that, as I said, every quarter it is going to release the patches. For example, in January, April, July and October, every year in these months, Oracle is going to release these patches, which we call it as CPU, critical patch update. So the latest one as of now is July 2013 patch. So that means if it is releasing the patch in July, so this patch contains the bugs that have arisen between April to July. That means May, June, July, all the 3 months patches will be included or clubbed together, and Oracle is going to release a patch which we call it as CPU or SPU. So apart from CPU, that is second category, we have one more option or one more type of a patch which we call it as patch set update. Shortly we are going to call it as PSU, and the definition says it is CPU, that means the latest one, CPU or SPU, plus other patches. So what is patch set update is, it includes both the CPU or SPU along with some other interim patches or some other one-off patches. So this combinedly we are going to call it as patch set update. And one important thing is, whenever you apply PSU, the version of the database will change. When you apply a CPU or when you apply the first category, that is interim patch, the version of the database will not change. But when you apply a PSU, the version will change. So for example, the database which is of this version may become something like this. So the last number, the 5th digit, is going to change by applying the PSU, patch set update. Now coming to the steps of how we are going to apply this patch, either you apply interim patch or apply CPU or apply PSU, the steps are similar. I mean, not exactly similar also, the steps are same. So that is what regarding the patches that we have. Anybody is having any questions over here? And meanwhile you ask the questions, one more point is only licensed users will be having authority to apply a patch or to download a patch. So you can download the patch from a site called MyOracle Support, and that can be possible only for the licensed users. So if you have any queries and all, just let me know. Yes, I mean whenever you do the things, you will be purchasing the license. Whenever you want to use Oracle database, you need to purchase the license. Of course, for home purpose and all, we may not require that, but when you are actually doing a business, you would be requiring that. Yes, Samir, we can apply CPU, interim patch, everything. So it's possible. So now, in today's class, we are going to see how to apply July 2013 CPU patch on top of 11.203 database. So that is what we are targeting today. Yes, yes, Sanjay. When you go to real time, the client with whom you are working for, so that particular client will already get the license, and we will be using that license. So every license will be given with a number. So I think last class I talked about it. It's something called the CSI number, customer support identifier. So using that number, we can able to request, or we can able to log into Oracle support site, and from there you can download the patches. So any more questions from anyone? So let me show about my Oracle support. So just like whenever you take some license, how you would be getting a customer care support. So similar to that, whenever you purchase a license from Oracle, you will be getting a license number, and you would be getting a customer care kind of support, and we can contact that using the help of this particular site, support.oracle.com. So this we call it as My Oracle support. So through this we can able to register our complaints, or we can download the patches. So we can do lot many activities. So whenever you join some project, the license number or the CSA number will be given to you by your project leads or project managers, or sometimes it could be done by client itself. So once you get that particular CSA number, here you can see a particular link called new users register here. So you need to just go to that particular link, and you need to fill in the form. Like it will ask for your official email ID, then what password you want to set, your name, etc., etc. So it will also ask you about that CSA number. So while doing that registration, you need to provide that number. Then only your registration will be complete. So after you do that, an email will go to your client for approval. So once that email, once your registration has been approved by client, then you will be getting that intimation, and then you can click on this particular button, sign in order to log into my Oracle support. So I'm just showing you. So once you log in, this is how it is going to look like, and then there are several tabs here. So I will come back and I will explain about that. But first, let us go and look into how to download the patch. So as I said, today's class we are going to see about how to download July 2013 patch, which is the latest one in the market. So what you need to do for that is, you need to just go to Google first, and you need to type here CPU July 2013 Oracle. So you need to type like this, or for example you are searching for April, then you need to say CPU April 2013 Oracle. So if you do that, you will be getting a link for you. So the very first link itself will take you to the place where you can download that particular patch. So I am just clicking on this link. It will take me to a particular page, and in this you can see the patches are available for multiple products of Oracle. So our product is basically 11.203 database. So which is the first link. So I am clicking on this particular link. So once you do that, it will open a document, and this document contains all the patch numbers and all. So if you scroll a little bit, here you will be seeing a third section which says the patch availability for Oracle products. So you need to click on that, and then you need to select your product. Our product is Oracle database, so I am selecting Oracle database. And once again there is a sub component, so that one is again Oracle database. And now you can see July CPU 2013 is available only for these versions. So as of now my version is 11.203, so I am just clicking on this in order to go to the prompt. So this particular table is going to tell you about what are all the patches available and what are their numbers. So as I said, CPU has been replaced with the word SPU. So for 11.203 database, the SPU patch number is this one, 16742095. So when you go for the PSU, so as I said, PSU is the third category of the patch. Even PSU also will be released every quarter along with SPU. So, and I also said that the fifth digit will change. So if you apply PSU, it the version which is currently saying 11.2.0.3.0, it becomes 11.2037. So the rest of the things are for other products. We don't really require to concentrate on that. So either apply SPU or PSU, steps are same. So I am proceeding with SPU. So there is a link already. So once you click on that link, because I already logged into My Oracle Support, it will take me directly to that My Oracle Support page. And here you can see there is a platform. So which is nothing but which operating system you want to download. So I want to download for Linux 32-bit. So I am selecting this operating system. and once you do that, you will be getting a download button here. So once you click on download, it will start downloading that particular file. So this is how you are going to download a cache. So let me do it on that machine. So download is done. So download is done. So now we need to copy this particular patch using WinSCP to the server. So I am just copying that to U02. Oops, sorry, it was downloaded wrong. It got downloaded as HP. Okay, so I got it. So I'm just copying that to the server. So now we need to start working on this. And whenever you are trying to download this particular patch, along with that there will be something called readme file. You can see over here. So once you click on readme file, basically this is the file which is going to tell you what are the steps that you need to follow. So you can see here patch installation procedure is there. So once you click on that, it will give you complete information. So I'm just going through that. So before you start with the actual things, the initial steps will remain same. For example, the first step is to take the backup of the database, and the number two, we need to take the backup of Oracle Home, and number three, we need to take the backup of inventory. So these three steps are very important. And number four, you are going to shut down the database, listener, and everything. So I'm connecting to database first. Then I'm shutting down my database. And then checking whether listener is running. No listener is running. Checking whether enterprise manager is running. No, enterprise manager is also not running. So almost everything is fine. Now everything is done, we can start applying that particular patch. But the first requirement for that particular step to apply a patch is you have a utility called OPatch, just like EXPDP or EXPIMP, all these are utilities. OPatch is a utility basically to apply the patches. So this OPatch version, whatever you have, should be of the latest version. It cannot be the older version. For example, if I run this command OPatch version, so our database version is 11.203, but our OPatch version is 11.2017, which is old. So what we need to do is we need to download a latest OPatch version, zip file, and that is what you can read in the first line here, which says you must use the OPatch utility version 11.203 or later in order to apply this patch. And Oracle recommends that use the latest patch, etc., etc. So how we can download that particular OPatch utility upgrade with that? So here you have that number 6880. So by just clicking on this, a hyperlink is already there. So by just clicking on that, it will take you to the page where you can download this patch. So mine is 11.2, let's say x86. So I need to click on download, and download will start. So anyone is having queries? So download has been completed. Now this one also you need to copy using WinSCP. Yes, Samir. It would be possible only for the licensed users. For normal users, it is not possible to download all this. So I have copied those things into U02 location, and these are the two files that we are looking at. So first we need to, as I said, we need whatever the OPatch utility version we have. So we need to change that OPatch utility version, and for that, what we are going to do in the next step is we are going to copy this zip file to Oracle home location, and then we need to move to Oracle home location, and we need to rename already existing opatch directory name. So we say like this, moving opatch to opatch.mol. Why? Because when you unzip this particular file, it is going to create one more opatch directory. So you know that already two opatch directories cannot have the same name, or sorry, two directories in Unix cannot have same name. So that is the reason we are just you know changing that particular opatch directory name. After we do that name change, then we are going to unzip this particular file. So the moment you unzip it, you can run this particular command, opatch version, and now you can see the version is 11203.5, so which is higher than whatever the database version is. So now it is clear that you can apply your patch, and I'm just moving to U02 where I have copied the patches. So this is the zip file where we have patch. So we need to unzip that. So when you unzip it, you will be getting a directory with the patch number, and now you need to go to that patch number or patch directory, and if you say ls, you can see so many patches are there. So that is what I said, CPU means a group of patches. So now if you are applying the CPU July 2013, it means that indirectly you are applying all these patches in a single shot. So the command to apply this particular patch is this one, whatever I am typing on the screen. So this is the command that you are going to use. But of course here it is just napply. So opatch napply -skip subset -skip duplicate. So if any supersets are getting installed, then we will not require the older subsets, so that we can skip it over here. And suppose there is already a duplicate patch existing on the database, then we can override that particular option with the help of skip duplicate. So the moment you run this, Oracle will start applying the patches, and this will take some time. So you can see here it says opatch continues with all these patches, and it is asking for confirmation whether we want to proceed. Then say yes. Then it is going to ask about Oracle support username and all. You don't require to provide any usernames or the passwords here. So we are just bypassing that. And now it is saying, it is asking whether your local system is ready. That means, have you done database shutdown, or have you done etc. etc. things. So let's say if it is ready, then I need to say yes and say enter or hit enter button. It will continue with the patch apply. So this will take some time, and meanwhile, do you guys have any queries? Yes, Samir. Even for applying a patch also, the database should be shut down. And in 11G, for some patches, Oracle came up with an option called hot patching. So, with the help of hot patching, some exclusive patches, when you are applying them, you don't require to shut down the database. But at least we have not seen that in real-time environment where people are going for hot patching. So still hot patching concept is undergoing in testing phase. So might be to get that working completely, it might take some 1 or 2 versions more. So probably 13G or 14G should come into picture. While you practice, for downloading the patch, you don't require it because I will be giving you that patch. I will be uploading to the drive, and I will share that. And while it is asking for username and password here, you don't require to provide anything. Just hit enter button. Then it will ask you so whether you want to really skip that. So you can just say yes and you can continue. Even in real time also you don't provide any username or password over there. So basically it asks for that email ID, my Oracle support email ID, but you don't require to give it even either in the practice or in real time. We don't have any other choice, Sanjay. If you really want to change the database name, then clients need to bear the downtime. So either you follow method 1 or method 2, what is listed in the class notes. So in both the cases, there is a shutdown required. So really, we don't have any other choice apart from that. So what I'm saying is, if really client is asking to change the database name, then compulsory we need to shut down the database, and when you shut down the database, users will be impacted. So there is no way to change the database name without shutdown. So that means compulsory users will face some downtime. That is the reason usually these kind of activities will be planned over the weekend. So suppose let's say on Sunday and all, there will be less number of users connecting to the database. So in such cases, we will be scheduling them like that. So did you got that point? Yeah, anyway you are going to open the database with the reset logs option. So it means like it's as we already know, whenever you use reset logs option, it's like you are creating a fresh redo log files. So what happens is again the incarnation of the database etc. will change, and it's something like a fresh database. Whenever you change the database, it's something like a you have created a fresh database. So once the step of applying the patch has been done, then we have some 2 or 3 steps. We will see that once this is completed. Okay, so at last it said something. Okay, fine. Usually we don't get any error, but somehow we got some issue over here. No issues. I'm just skipping that. So the next step, what you are going to do is, you are going to connect to the database and you are going to start it up in a normal way. So once the database is open, you need to execute a script which is going to reside in Oracle Home RDBMS admin location, and the script name is cat bundle.sql, and to this script you are going to pass 2 arguments. One is CPU and the second one is apply. So the moment you run this, then the patch information will be registered in the base tables. So till now what is the situation is, the base tables have not got updated, but only at OS level we have updated. So even if you want that to be reflected on the base tables, then you need to execute this script cat.sql CPU apply. Okay, so this got applied. So that means uh, we have successfully completed applying the CPU 2013. The next step would be nothing, frankly. So that's all the steps that we have. So anyone is having queries? Okay. So how we can verify whether the patch was applied, correctly or not? We have a view called registry$history. So this particular view is going to give you the information whether the patch was applied or not. So here you can see it is saying we have applied CPU 2013 on 3rd September. So it gives you the date and time also, on which date and time you have applied this particular CPU or a patch. So it will give you that information. And coming to your question, Sanjay, yeah, we don't really apply patch for all the Oracle errors. So I'm not sure what exactly the error is for the 205. So basically, whenever we have an error, we don't directly go and apply a patch. I mean to say, for every error there will not be a patch. Only if it is a critical issue which you couldn't able to solve it, then probably it will be identified as a patch. So anyone is having any queries? Okay. Can you give me what is that error message? Okay. If it is saying error in identifying control file, probably it means that Oracle is unable to read the control files from the location whatever it is specified. So you need to go to that location and you need to say LSF and LTR to verify whether really control files are existing or not. So there are two things here. One is either control files are totally not there, that could be one reason, and number two, even the control files are there, you don't have permissions to access that control file. So in both the cases, you'll be having this particular error. So the solution would be either that permissions need to be provided, or if control file is not there, then you need to create control files in the specified directory. Okay. So if you have control files, then problem might be with permissions. So we using chmod command, try to change the permissions and then check out. Okay, so now let us talk about something called service request or SR. So basically, when you look here, there is a tab called service request, and this particular service request is nothing but a complaint or something that you could not able to access it. So suppose you got some error in your database and you are unable to identify what is the root cause for that and all. So you can basically raise a request with Oracle support, and we call that request as service request. So when you click on that service request tab, here it will show you what are all the service requests that are already raised by you or your team members. Suppose you want to raise a new service request, then you have a button here, you can see create SR. So the moment you click on create SR, there will be 4 steps from here. The first one is you need to provide the problem summary. So I mean, what is the issue or error you are facing, that you need to provide it here. And the second one, problem description. So in the first line you need to write down about your problem in a single line, whereas in the second paragraph you need to write it completely, like what exactly is the problem you are facing. Are you giving uh, you are going to, are you getting any errors, you need to put down the error codes and all in the third line. Then here you need to select your product. So our product is Oracle database, so we need to type that one. Okay. So I'm clicking on this one. So type Oracle database. So here you can see Oracle database, Enterprise Edition, Personal Edition, Standard Edition and all. So usually in real time we use Enterprise only. So I'm just selecting that option and say OK. And you need to select your product version, like which version, 11.203 or etc. etc. So let's say I have given 11.203. Then I need to provide the operating system name. So let's say mine is Linux 32-bit, so I need to select this one. And in Linux also we have several varieties like Red Hat, Linux, etc. etc. So you need to choose the appropriate one. And here you can see something called the support identifier. That is what the license number is. So once you fill out this information, then you need to click on next. So what happens is, whenever you provide some information and the error messages, Oracle internally will check in its set of documents whether this error has been faced by anybody else. So if not, they are going to it is going to move to the next phase. And here you need to upload your files. So like alert log file, trace files, and or any other log files and all, you need to apply it over here. And in the last screen, it is going to talk about the severity levels. So depends on the criticality of the problem. There are 4 severity levels, starting from severity 1, which is the highest one, and the severity 4, which is the lowest one. So we need to select to which severity it may fall under, and usually production databases and all we go with severity 2 or 1, but development and dev and testing databases, we are going to use it within the normal service itself. And below you have contact details, like whom Oracle support want to contact and all, so you need to provide that. And finally, on the top right hand side, you can see the option called submit. So once you click on submit, the service request will be raised or will be reported to Oracle support people, and they will start working on that. So this is how you can raise service request with Oracle support. So that is all we have for today's class. So before we close the session, anyone is having any queries? Yeah, I have already uploaded 11G bug patch and 11G patch it also, I think. Let me verify. Yeah, 11G, 11.203 things, and even the bug patch also I have uploaded already. So I think you might have got an email or something, because even when I say share, it was already shared to your email ID. Because you can see your email ID here, so it was already shared to you. Let me do something. So I'm just doing that once again. So hope now you might have got one email somewhere, so just check out. You might be having that, and I will upload this particular patch 11 to this particular, both of them I will be. So I will upload it once we complete the class. Yeah, I mean you will get every day. You just need to open that link, and whatever I added, you will be able to see all those things.